Welcome to the Plumbing Live Q&A with Roger Wakefield. And yes, that is me. So if you want to learn more about plumbing by receiving the best information, if you believe that your opinion matters and you want it to be heard, if you're ready to, and if you really love the trades, plumbing, getting into it and getting better at it, and you want to have a freaking awesome time learning and contributing, guess what? You may be in the right spot. Well, I think you're going to have options here. Your options want to be heard. Your opinions want to be heard. We want to know what you like, what you want to hear, what you want to do. And it's not just me. Man, there's some great people in here all the time. So all I'm going to say is jump in and have fun. Jump into the questions, comments. If you came here looking for something, you search plumbing on YouTube or Google, it brought you here. This is a live stream. You may want to jump over to the channel to find the answers there. But if not, if you just kind of jump here looking for plumbing, you might hang out, check it out. We go live every Monday evening at 4 o'clock Central Standard Time. So those of y'all that know me know I'm Roger Wakefield. I love what I do. Want to say hello to Break Drury. How are you doing? Good to see you in here. I do check on the comments just so I can see what's going on. Over here on the live stream, got some people in here too. And yes, I do have a Twitter. God, I'm trying to remember what it is right now. I think, and you know what? I may actually have that on a graphic or a caption. I've got, and I just lost my monitors again. Yeah, there we go. Oh, no, that's them on Twitter. Sorry about that. Man, I will check real quick because I don't get in Twitter very often. But my Twitter account is, if I can find it, _ Roger Wakefield. So at _ Roger Wakefield on Twitter, that is where I am. First of all, man, this is Christmas week. How is everybody doing? I hope everybody's doing good. I hope everybody's got all their shopping, everything complete, everything done. Man, I know it. I know I don't, but I definitely hope that y'all do. Jump back over in the chat. I want to say hello here. Man, 0KO01 says, why did you become a plumber? And this is good because I get asked this question a lot. And really, I tell people I'm lucky because one of my best friends in high school, I was managing a restaurant. So I'm managing a hamburger place in high school. And man, it was slow one night. So we're standing there talking. And he looks at me and he says, are you going to do this forever? And I'm like, I'm 16 years old. I'm managing a restaurant. Why wouldn't I? And he said, well, let me ask you this. He said, if you quit or get fired, who's going to hire you to manage a restaurant? And I was like, wow, that's something I've never looked at. So he went on to tell me about his father and his 3 older brothers that were all 3 plumbers. And they loved it. They made good money. They loved what they did. It was a few weeks later, I either quit or got fired, and boom, here I am. So I have fun at it. I love it. Greg Williams says, Master Plumber said, I work hard, but I'm still green, and it's only been a year. If it's been a year, you're not very green. We talk all the time about learning. And people ask me all the time, what is your YouTube channel about? It's about people learning plumbing. And I want you to think about that, because if you're in this trade, you've got to continue learning. Really, if you're in any of the trades, if you want to move up, if you want to do well, if you want to put yourself in a good position where you can have a better life for yourself. And I guess that's probably the best way to put it. If you want, boy, that is a good way to put it. If you want to put yourself in a position to make more money, either in this trade, in another trade, whatever career it is that you're doing or want to do, you want to keep learning. And let's talk about that a little bit. And I know I normally do things a little bit different, but I want to ask everybody in here, if you're still learning, whether you're just starting out in the trade or whether you've been in the trade for a while, if you're still learning, what are you learning? And it doesn't just have to be about plumbing. It can literally be, I'm learning leadership, I'm learning management, I'm learning construction management, uh, OSHA training. There's a lot of different things, but learning is what's going to set you apart from everybody else. So, what I want to ask anybody in here, do me a favor. Put in here what you're learning. What have you learned that helps set you apart? What makes you better at what you do? Because I think that's huge. Israel says hello from Poland. How are you? Good to see you. Blake Dre, I'm going to tell you, I used to run around on Halloween. Oh, it didn't come up. There we go. I used to run around on Halloween dressed as a plumber, wearing overalls, carrying a pipe wrench. And no, I'm joking. Let's see what I got right here. It's not my dream job, but it's one that I love doing. And I've got to truthfully say that I got into plumbing while I was still in high school. So I got in plumbing in the middle of my junior year. I loved it. I did it the last half of my junior year. I did it over the summer. And then I realized, you know what? I need to go back to school and graduate with my class. So I did. The cool thing about it is right after I graduated, I got right back into plumbing. And we're going to talk about it a little bit, but learning. So right now, man, there's so many good things going on in Texas. If you're going into high school right now, you can literally, depending on what school district you're in, the Texas State Board of Plumbing Examiners has just released a new curriculum they've set up with the TEA. So the Texas Independent School Districts too. I know Tyler's starting it. I know some of the Garland schools are starting it. Richardson's talking about it. Wilmer Hutchins is talking about it. Sorry about that. And I'm assuming y'all can hear me good. I just looked down, the red mute button looked like it's lit up. Anyway, the cool thing is you can go to high school and get out as a tradesman plumber. Now, here in Texas, that means you can get out and make $52,000 a year. How would that be to walk out of high school, take an exam, something that you've gone to school to learn, and now you can walk out and get a job making 52 grand a year right out of high school? That's what Texas is doing. It's already in place. It got voted on in the 87th legislature. Uh, Mark Schaefer has been pushing this for the last 2 years that I know of. And I got to tell you, I think it's a great thing. All right. Next, Brian Franklin says, hey, man, love the live streams, but I just moved here, have over 8K service hours, have tier 2 water from Florida. What kind of work is there out there here in Texas? You know, Brian, there's a lot of good things. I don't know what part of Texas you're in, but you can literally, with 8,000 hours, as long as you can document them, man, you can take your journeyman exam. Contact if you're in the Dallas area, contact me. If you are in good relations with the companies you left, go online, the Texas State Board, send them your hours verification form. And man, I'm telling you, it will help you. But yeah, at that point, you need to go ahead and probably get your apprentice card right now. That way, you can start working for a company. That's why I say wherever you're at, uh, man, it'll help you. Pepper Diesel says, "Wonderful, excited to go home and see my family again. Are you excited for your weekend off?" I finally get a weekend off. Actually, I was kind of off this last weekend. Uh, Took it easy, relaxed, stuff like that. Mr. Sean Strong. If you are not connected with Sean Strong, you need to check him out. Uh, he is, man, how did I do that again? Sean is, man, if you're not familiar with boom_the plumber, you need to get familiar with him. Check him out on Instagram. Check me out on Instagram. I'm also on TikTok, LinkedIn, Twitter, everywhere else. So good to see you in here, brother. And Sean runs my subreddit for me. Jump over there, check him out. Man, he's even starting Discord. It's kind of going crazy. Dale Hunt says, "Hello, I'm 22-year-old journeyman plumber. What are your opinions on the 1-inch upflush toilets?" If you're talking the flush valves, man, I got to tell you, they're fine. Uh, you normally don't get a lot of clogs on it because you got enough pressure to push it down. I think it's amazing. Osriel says, "I learned a few tricks from you, but only to my own something." Real Felicia says, "Hey, Roger, happy holidays. Just wanted to know what you think of those A.O. Smith water softener cabinets. They're around $500 or $600. Just want to know if you've seen them or installed or replaced them." I have not yet. We've done God, I'm trying to remember the name brand. We've done one here called North Star. I used to use anyway, the one that everybody's selling, the little electronic gadget for Flowtech. If David wasn't such a jerk, I'd still be dealing with them. I think their customer service sucks. So you got to start looking at other things. Like Drew says, "When are you doing a tour?" You know what? I've been talking to Ferguson about a new sponsorship, and I've talked to them about I would love to get out, tour around the country, go to different schools, go to different facilities that, maybe they're doing a lunch and learn one day. Let me go talk there. So, man, I'm working on all kinds of cool things, and I love it. Paul Thompson says, "Do you and the Twin Home Experts ever plan on collaborating?" Maybe so. I ran into them, uh, Dave and Jim, over in Dallas. That they came down here. Actually, I've run into them twice now. So, yeah, pretty cool. Alfonso Merkin says, "Almost 40. Is it too late to start in the plumbing trade?" No. One thing that I'll tell you is getting into the trade, it's never too late. I had an apprentice at the age of 55. He was 55, not me. I had an apprentice at the age of 55. Now, that was commercial. He loved it. But, man, if you think you can do it, now, I don't know, you may be 40-year-old and you move like you're 80. Nothing bad against 80-year-olds. I know some of them that move pretty good. But, man, here's the thing. I can't tell you what you can or can't do, and don't ever let anybody do that. At the end of the day, man, if you think you can do something, you can. But on the other hand, if you think you can't, you're right. So that's kind of up to you. Andrew says Nexstar and ride-alongs. How many of y'all do anything with Nexstar, SGI, any of the companies like that? Just kind of curious. Barbara Diesel says also support your wholesale suppliers. Don't make your delivery drivers day hell. You know, yeah, delivery drivers are great. But your local supplier, hopefully you're ordering things in advance and getting out there. Daniel Gomez inspires. Brother, how are you? Man, you want to talk about a YouTube channel you should go check out. And I just saw yours and your wife's Christmas video, brother. Thank you for putting that up. Uh, this is another channel definitely worth going to check out. Sean Strong says, "I'm learning. I got a long way to go to get a great mustache." You do. Andrew says, "Have you ever heard of Nexstar being a great plumber? And having Nexstar has helped me make 150K. Andrew, that's fantastic. I was never a part of Nexstar until just about a month ago when I sold my plumbing company. I sold it to an HVAC company. I retained part of that overall company, and they are a part of Nexstar. So I've been to a couple events. I'm headed up to St. Paul in January, I believe, for a sewer drain cleaning class, and I'm really interested in seeing how it goes. I did go to BPW. I was down in Sarasota and St. Paul a couple of months ago, so that was nice. Dale Hunt says currently learning commercial sewage pumps with circuit boards and replacing them with railing and no railing. Good for you. Put up a picture of Vin Diesel. Well, I'm better looking, so why would I waste my time doing that? Jose Manuel Rodriguez says, love your channel. Me and Canta tu can. Not sure about that one. If that means you love my channel, I love it. That's what it means. Muchas gracias. Draclin says, have a question that reveals my ineptitude, but you're on your fourth plunger lately due to them breaking on me. Am I using too much strength, going at a bad angle, or just cheap equipment? Probably cheap. Man, my plumbers normally last quite a while. But then again, I don't know how long you've had them. What I will tell you is that, and I just got the general, what is it, the air ram, and man, that thing is cool. We've blown out some pretty cool stuff with that. So anyway, I think that's something that it's going to be really neat to have on the trucks. Josh Sansone says for general round pipe jobs and fittings, you prefer appropriate sized groove joint pliers or pipe wrenches. It depends on the size of them. If it's small enough, I can get the adjustable pliers on there. I love that. I may go to a pipe wrench once I want to tighten it down and make sure I'm not having any problems. So different ways to go, but I love that because look, today we're really talking about learning and the way different people learn and stuff like that. And I wanted to do it for different reasons. So, what I talked about a while ago, who's learning, what are you learning, and where are you learning it from? There's a reason behind that. Because, as I told you a while ago, I love what I do. I think I've got the most amazing job I could ever imagine. And to be able to get out and meet the people that I get to meet, help the people I get to do, you've got to stay positive for stuff like that. And I work with a lot of people and have over the years. And I want you to think about when you're with someone, when you're working around someone that is just completely negative, do you like it? Do you enjoy it? Does it help you? Do you enjoy your day? Or is it like, oh my God, I hate what I'm doing? In everything that we do, we need to continue learning, but we also need to keep a positive attitude. And these are things that I'm going to start sticking with each and every time that we talk because I'm around plumbers or used to be around a lot of plumbers. They come in, they hate their job. Like, oh my God, I'm here again. I hate this. I hate this. Man, we got the greatest job on earth. We get to build America. We get to repair America. We get to help customers. We get to do cool stuff. Some people don't get it. And some people go to jobs every day that they hate. I will tell you this, if you hate your job like that, man, get rid of it. All right. So Pepper Diesel says, do you have thoughts on Rheem water heaters? We sell that brand at my work, a plumbing supply wholesaler, and you get such mixed reviews. I have no problem. Rheem has a big office back over here somewhere. Rheem, A.O. Smith, State, Bradford White. Bradford White's probably my favorite. Uh, so there are different ones out there. Sean Strong, if you're still in here, what brand water heaters do y'all install all the time? Sean says, if you go on tour, I want to tag along. Sean, I would be carrying your bags. That's how it would end up. I know. Andrew says, Nextstar helps you raise your numbers, especially with an agenda card. That look, I've reached out to Nextstar. If you know anybody there, reach out to them, tell them to contact me. I think their logo up here would be great. The cool thing is, when I walked into their BPW, their business planning workshop, it blew my mind because they did such a great job. So it is definitely something that I want to get into. I started out at SGI, which is similar to Nexstar for smaller companies. But man, it literally it changed the way I do business. So I think it's phenomenal. Joshua Madison says, Mr. Wakefield, God bless you. Thank you very much. God bless you, sir. And have a very Merry Christmas and a wonderful New Year. Number one, Joshua, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I, I could almost tell people I celebrate Christmas every day. I literally love the life I have. It's great. Uh, I get to work with good people. I get to help amazing customers. So thank you, sir. Joshua Matson says, I've watched your channel grow through the years, and your hard work and knowledge is inspirational in the field from one plumber to another. And bro, I love everything you're doing. Much love. Well, number one, Joshua, thank you, sir. Here's one thing that I love about what I get to do is I use this for recruiting. I am constantly trying to figure out how can we get more people in the trades. And I want to put this on all y'all because if you looked at, and this is something I used to do when I was in the union, when I was an instructor, when I'd come home at night, if I had to stop by the grocery store, we normally got out 9:30, 10. They got out at 9 or 9:30. I'd get out between 9:30 and 10 by the time I finished my stuff. But if you go by the grocery store or you go through a drive-through at work, anything like that, maybe you go to a restaurant and the waiter is just super friendly, super helpful, and you think, man, I love his attitude. Think about that. How would he be in the trades? And the reason I ask you that is it's up to us to fulfill all the positions or to help fill all the positions from everybody that's going to be retiring. The median age for tradespeople is getting older every year. So more people are retiring every year and we have less people getting in the trades. Guys, we all need to be recruiting every single day. And I mean, think about it. If you can help someone get into the trades and have an amazing life and learn their way up to make more money, man, why wouldn't you do it? I think that is something we should all be doing. 915 Richie Reuter, what's up, brother? Good to see you in here. Mr. Steve Harloa is in the house. Says, aloha, everyone. It's been a while. Good to see you. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, brother. I hope everything is amazing over in Hawaii. Ved Bishnet says, Merry Christmas. Happy New Year to everyone. Good vibes. Absolutely. Jose Manuel Rodriguez says, if you make a tour, you're welcome in Santa Barbara, California. That's good because a lot of people don't want me places like that. I'm joking. Battle Tank Zach T says, good evening and greetings from Germany. And Sean Strong says, thank you, number one, Germany. Good to have you in here. I appreciate that. So, Battle Tank, welcome back. Sean Strong says, we install A.O. Smith, but I prefer Rheem for the combustion air intake. But here they're having, tons of issues. I remember when Bradford White had problems with issues, and I say this in a completely amazing way because when I went into the Bradford White plant, and it's been 3 years now, literally they were still inspecting every gas control valve that came in. They pulled it out. They knew what to look for. They knew what was giving them problems. And they would literally check every single valve upon delivery, not wait till it gets to somebody on the line and say, hey, make sure you look and check this before you put it in. That person's going to get wore out. So I thought it was neat the way they did it. And when I see a company doing stuff like that, I'm like, okay, that's something I want to be associated with. So those of y'all that know me know I believe in learning and positivity. You've got to keep a positive attitude, but you also have to continuously be learning. And if you're not, it's kind of tough because you're going to get real complacent. You're going to get into the trades and you're going to jump in and your whole goal when you first get in the trades is, I want to be a plumber. Even if you're an electrician, you probably want to be a plumber. If not, you should. And I'm joking. I give all the trades a hard time. I think plumbing's the best. I know they do too. But look, guys, nothing but love and respect. So we talk about learning, we talk about positivity, we talk about being optimistic. And the reason that we do is look, our future looks amazing. And especially those of us that are in the trades right now, those of us that are in the trades, that are getting in the trades, that want to get better at the trades, man, it's up to us to do whatever we want. But whenever we first get in, we get that mental mindset, I want to be a plumber. And once we get that license in our pocket, we stop. We stop learning. We get real complacent. We we just stop. So what I want to talk to you about is, what does it take to do better? What do you have to learn? Why does it take a positive attitude? Why do you need to be optimistic? And why do we need to be recruiting? Number one, when you get in the trades and you don't move up, you start getting frustrated. You're the grunt. You're the guy putting in the work each and every day. And what I want to tell you is, with just a little bit of training, you can move up to foreman position, to superintendent position, project manager. Heck, I moved all the way up to director of operations for a union contractor. And what I want to tell you is just because I started learning a little bit more. I started studying a little bit. So do not, whatever you do, get so complacent that you don't move up, you don't do anything. Joshua says he wasn't joking about the Santa Barbara comment. Yeah. Yeah. Trust me, I wasn't joking. When I go to California, they're like, you're from Texas. I'm like, yes, I am. Yeah. Spoiled Milk says, hello, Santa. Aha. Santa's on the way. Suzuki says, what is the best state to be a plumber in? Also, does PHCC and the UA offer the same benefits and wages? Number one, Texas is the best state to be a plumber in. And I truthfully believe that wholeheartedly because of the Texas State Board. They've had some problems, but they've got those fixed. And right now, just enacting what they just did, I mean, think about it. Wouldn't it be nice to go to high school and get out and be able to go take your tradesman exam and make, 50, 52 grand a year? It's that easy now. And it's not just high school, the trade schools, community colleges. They've got it set up where anybody that wants to take on this curriculum, enforce this syllabus, look, the guys are still going to have to get out and take an exam. But I think Texas is trying to get out and lead the way as to what they can do to be better. If my son was in middle school and all he ever wanted to do is be a plumber, or if my son is in Texas and I know he's not going to college, it's like, man, have I got a deal for you? Go there and grab that plunger and try it. So see if you like it. I mean, y'all tell me where y'all live. And I normally start off this way. If you're in here right now, tell me, where are you located and what do you do? What are you? If you're in California, say, look, I'm a 10th year plumber, 3rd year apprentice, whatever it is. Put where you are and what you do, because the next question I'm going to ask is, when you started high school, if there would have been an opportunity for you to come in to high school, learn everything you could to pass the plumbing exam, and you could pass it when you get out, would you have done it? And I really don't know that I would have, because at the time, me and my friend hadn't talked about it, so I wasn't real gung-ho or excited about plumbing. But my whole thought process changed once I did it. So, first part of your question, yes, I think Texas is the best. Also, does PHCC and UA offer the same benefits and wages? No. PHCC works with mainly open shop contractors, where the UA is union contractors. And look, Sasuke, I'll tell you, I'm probably the best person to talk to about this, because I've been non-union, I've been union, I'm non-union again. The benefits package isn't the same and the wages aren't the same, because open shop, they don't have to be. Open shop, they can set the wages at whatever they want to set them at. Now, the United Association has a scale, and it's different in every, I started to say every state, it's literally different in every local. Meaning in Dallas, it was local 100. They've got the scale set at a certain amount. And what the scale is, that tells you what the minimum is that you have to pay your plumbers and pay your apprentices. And it really is, it's a great deal. The good thing about it, everything is set, everything is fair. Boom, boom, boom. The bad thing about it, when you got 3 guys that work harder than the other one, and you know that other one, he don't care. He's just there for a paycheck. It makes it kind of tough. Now, to go back to your question, PHCC has a great training program, and I think the union does too, in the right places. Here in Dallas, they would not train residential service, and that's what I need more than anything. So, anyway, next, Steve Arloa says, A.O. Smith, in my opinion, used to be horrible. However, in the past few years, they've stepped up their game. Now I think they have a really good heater. I still always install Bradford White. And man, I'm right there with you. I love Bradford White. They're American made. Man, and if we have problems, they take care of it. And normally it's not often. 915 Richie Ritter says, I love my work, love doing plumbing. Not sure if I'm the only plumber around here that when I do a repair or new construction, I imagine it as a 3D picture. You know, I don't know that I've ever imagined it as a 3D picture, but I do. I love that. What I'll tell you, guys, if y'all aren't members yet or hadn't joined, go over to our subreddit and join. I tell people all the time, show me your bad pictures, show me your bad videos. But you know what? If you put in great work, take pictures of that too. Put it over there. I love seeing the way other people do things. I think it's amazing. Joshua says, when it comes to air handlers and condensators, miscellaneous HVAC stuff, a lot of the manufacturers seem to be the same behind the logos. You know, number one, the systems are designed the same. There may be different products, but yeah, they're all pretty much the same. They work alike. So completely agree with you. Same way with water heaters or our Bradford White, Rain Red, all individually made. They aren't individually made. State and A.O. Smith are made by the same manufacturer. Bradford White does their own. I've actually been to their plant up in Michigan. Grand Rapids, maybe not Michigan. God, maybe it was Michigan. It's been a while. Hey, Roger, I'm from Chicago and project manager for a processing piping. I love that. I used to be a superintendent on some big process piping jobs. So I love that. I've done clean room. I've done dirty rooms. I've done the piping under an airport. I have done so many wonderful things, and I love what I do. Suka says, I'm from California, but stationed in New Mexico. Good for you. Tony, Texas says, shout out. Carrollton, Texas. Good to see you in here. I'm over in Richardson, so I'm not very far from you. Starbuck QBB says, would love to go into the trades if I had the chance. Student loans are killer. You know, and this is part of what I teach. And Starbuck, I love seeing that. This is what I talk about all the time. The freaking college student loan debt is out of control. And the bad thing is so many kids get into the student debt, into the education because their parents force them into it. They never really want to do it, but they get forced into it. And all of a sudden they're like, man, I hate this. Hate what I'm doing. I hate the fact that I already owe, 50 grand, 100 grand, whatever it is. Can you imagine getting out of college, getting a job? You realize that 10, 20% of your checks got to go towards your student loans. You can't afford an apartment or a house, and it's going to be that way for 5, 10, 15 years until you can start making a lot more money. Now, I think you'll make more money quicker than 5 years, but still, you get out of debt or you get out of school with nothing but you're already behind. You're already behind in the race. Everybody's fighting to get debt free, and man, you're just racking up debt before you even get a job. That's why getting into the trades is so phenomenal. Joshua says Jacksonville, Florida, no registered hours, but have been service residential commercial for 10 years in 4 different states you've worked in. So what I would tell you is reach out to any employer you ever had, have them document how many hours they work for you. And look, guys, I've talked to Lisa Hill about this. It does not have to be hold on, slow down how I word this. They don't have to have a license in that state to be a plumber. It can be a contractor's license. It can be whatever's required in your state, as long as they will document your hours and say, yeah, they worked for me and they did this, and here's where they're at. Jordan Ramirez is in California, Los Angeles, second-year apprentice working at LAX. I love that. I was actually at LAX just a couple of months ago. Actually stayed at the Gateway Sheraton when I was there. So pretty cool. Jordan Ramirez says he's a union worker. Jordan, what union are you in? And don't just give me the number because, man, I don't have them all memorized. Oh, that was you I just looked at. Okay, California. Perfect. See, when I was in the union here, I worked at DFW. So, man, unions do get a lot of big work like that. Steve says, I know Roger already knows, but 28 years plumbing, owner of Harlow's Plumbing in Honolulu. And isn't that great? I know Sean Strong wants to go to work for him. I want to go to work for him. Man. Daniel Palacio says, from Southern Hampton, New York, 4th month apprentice working for a contracting plumbing company. I love that. So you're in your 4th month. Do you love it? Is this what you thought it was going to be when you started? Robert Varsberg says, Pennsylvania, non-plumber, work for Home Depot. Fantastic. Josh Sanson says 10 months into stationary engineer, UAW apprenticeship. I like that. Took construction manufacturing in high school, junior, senior year. Went to trade school. For automotive, I knew college and office was not for me. Yeah, I get you. I knew that too. And luckily, I mean, I'm glad I did. If I'd have gone to college, I'd have got in trouble. I'd have paid a lot of money. I'd have gone to flirt with girls. And that's probably what would have done it for me. Tyler says, how do you leave the union and open up a non-union shop? Thought the union will fine you for that, like $10,000 from what I heard. Luckily, when I signed my contract, there's a 5-year exit clause. And to be honest, as crappy as my union was here, what they did for me, it was pretty easy for me to get out. Local one just kind of jacked me over. They didn't do anything they said they do. The national union didn't support me any. So it's like, okay. So that's it. Renette Brown says, how to fix a leaky pipe in the back. Not sure what you mean by that, but good luck. Loving the apprenticeship, mix of electrical, pipe fitter, AC, and repair work. And Josh, that's neat because the company that I'm part of now, Rescue Air, it'll pop up here in a minute. Literally, man, when I walk up and spoke to the technicians the other day, I'm like, how many of y'all would like to get into plumbing? And over half of them raised their hand. And if I can cross-train technicians like that, can you imagine how good would an apprentice be that's learning plumbing and electrical coming up? Or plumbing and HVAC, which HVAC problems are 95% electrical. So if you can get in and learn multiple things, man, it's nothing but good for you. So jump on it. I love that. Electrical, pipe fitter, AC repair work. And if you can learn to do all that, pick you a good business, pick you a good trade, get your license, and go for it. Josh is 32 now, graduated in 2008. Good for you. Was not looking forward to college after high school, but here I am 14 years later doing college classes for an apprenticeship. Totally worth it. Well, that's pretty cool that you're going to college now as your apprenticeship. See, I had zero college whatsoever, And then when I became an instructor in a union, they sent me up to Ann Arbor, Michigan. I'm trying to remember if I went 3 or 4 times. I think I went 3 times to study at the instructor training program, the ITP. And I got to tell you, I love it. So it's pretty cool. Radamus Laura says it bad to charge 100% on your materials. It's not necessarily bad. It depends on what material it is. There's a lot of different pay structures set up that are going to do it, maybe based on percentage, maybe not. But what you've got to figure out is what it takes you to make your overall numbers, and that gets into everything we're talking about tonight. Learning. Man, if you're not learning, you're really messing up. But being positive, being optimistic, recruiting into the trades, so many things, but learning. And we were talking earlier about SGI and Nexstar, and I think both of them are amazing because most tradespeople, man, we don't know what we're doing, and I don't mean that bad, but the reason I ended up selling to Rescue Air is I was talking to Josh. I'm like, man, you want to be a good businessman, or you're running a great business. He said, Roger, I grew up wanting to be a great businessman. I grew up wanting to be a great plumber. So by the time it came to me opening up my business, I had no idea what I was doing. And that's why I started studying under Michael Gerber, the E-Myth, started studying under so many people and learning more, and it paid off so well. So Mr. Josh says, I was not in a situation to pay for college after high school, would not take debt out. Now my employer's paying me to go to school and paying for the schooling while employing me full time. Good for you. Number one, guys, if you haven't done it yet, I see we got almost 50 people in here. If you like what we're doing, give us a thumbs up. That just lets the YouTube algorithm know, hey, look, people get in here, they enjoy it, they see what's happening. Apparently they like it because they're giving us a thumbs up. And I really would appreciate it. Thank you. Jose Manuel Rodriguez says, I've been plumbing for 20 years, just started my company 6 months ago and lives in Santa Barbara. Good for you. Richard McDonald says, thanks for what you do. We need more of you. And if there was any more of me, that would just not be good. Sean Strong wouldn't talk to any of us. Josh says, so if I reach out to the few former companies that employed me, should just ask to get my time verified for licensing sake, because I definitely want to get one, to be honest. Yeah, if you're in Texas already, or if you're headed this way, if these are legitimate plumbing companies, is what it's got to be. You can't just say, well, I worked for a handyman for 10 years. So yeah, do everything you can to get that license. It's huge. Smashcap says, I'm not union yet, but my first job is a provisional through the Fort Worth Union. Orientation tomorrow. Took my drug test this morning. Good for you. You guys, look, I know that I talk bad about my union because my union they lied to me, fed me, they treated me like a mushroom. I'll leave it at that. What I want to tell you, though, is look, there's a lot of unions out there that are amazing. Local 1 in New York. I don't think I've ever been more impressed by the instructors, the way they show up, their attitude, and loved it. So there are some good unions out there. One of my mentors, man, Robert Melko, man, he'd sit and tell you, look, this is how it works. This is how it goes. And he knew what he was doing. Man, it was phenomenal. Palacio says, do you love it? Is it how you expected to be when you started? If you're talking to me, I do love it. And I think that's why I do what I do. I think the trades are just the most amazing thing. And not just the trades, but plumbing itself. So I'm lucky. I have a career that I love, that I thoroughly enjoy, that I want to tell people about, that I want to recruit people into. So to me, yes, sir, it's amazing. Next, Sir Paul says, hey, Roger, good to see you. Vibrant Noir, hello. Sir Paul says, how do you react when a customer berates you over the price? When customers say, that's high, I tell them, yes, ma'am, it is. But it's because it's a lot of work. And when you start going through and explaining it, if people are beating you up over your price, you have not explained your value very well. And Sir Paula, I don't mean that bad, but if you sell your value up front, they normally don't complain about your price. If you don't sell them value and then you just hit them with a price, they're like, what the what? So, man, you got to make sure they understand you are the best, or you're trying to do it the best, or you do it better than anybody else. Robert Noir says, I was wondering if it's easy to get a plumbing job out of high school or if college is a better path. Depends on where you're at. Man, I was just talking a while ago about the way the laws just changed in Texas. A person can literally go to high school, get out, take their tradesman exam. Now, when you get out, when you take your tradesman exam and pass it, if you've got a great attitude, you've got the mindset right, you've got your stuff down, and you pass, and hopefully you've got the sense to have built a reputation or relations with a plumbing company during that time, man, you can get out making 50 grand a year. So I think it's amazing. Tyler Steinmetz, well, it depends on where you're at. If you're down in Houston, there's, what is it? God, Studio 48 or something 48, Steakhouse 48. I think that's Houston. If you're in Austin, I really like Eddie V's. If you're in Dallas, actually northeast of Dallas, up here in Richardson area, Garland is Texas. There's some good ones all over Texas. Rodney Townsend says, hello from Two Harbors, Minnesota. How close are you to St. Paul, Rodney? I'll be up in Minnesota. I think it's January 18th and 19th, 18th through 20th, somewhere in there. That may be when I'm in Miami. I'm in St. Paul I think I'm in St. Paul from the 11th to the 14th. Jen and Ed, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to y'all. Daniel Parsons says, love your content, Roger. I'm a journeyman plumber. I've learned a lot from your videos. Number one, thank you. I appreciate it. You know, here's another thing that we talk about a lot is, and it's an old saying, but guys, if you're a plumber, I just want y'all to understand how true it is. Plumbers protect the health of the nation. And a lot of y'all might be, oh yeah, I've heard that said a lot. But plumbers do that by making sure that people have good, clean, potable water in their house and the sanitary water gets carried away. Think about that. If we've got a cross connection and people are getting nasty water to drink, it makes them sick. World Fair, Chicago, 1932, I believe, caused by a nasty handle where people are pumping water and they're getting this Legionella, this disease in the water. I don't think it was Legionella. I think it was, God, what was it? Anyway, man, look, plumbers help make people not sick just by doing our job right. When a plumber does everything right, you know what happens? Nothing. Nobody gets sick. Nobody dies. Plumbers protect the health of the nation each and every day. And it really is a big deal. Yeah, Jim, you got to get Texas barbecue. Well, he didn't even ask about barbecue. I could have given him a whole nother list of restaurants. Smashcap says, oh, it'll be my first day in the trade at all. Have no plumbing experience. Good for you. Sir Paul, you are welcome. Ed Aiken, yeah, talks about that Aggie recruiting class. It's just, who'd want to be an Aggie, though? Farsauce says, I'm young and I'm looking into plumbing. Have two questions. Sorry, it jumped around on me. Have two questions. Wondering, should I get into commercial construction before service so that I can do a better job? You know, people look at it different ways. What I'll tell you is, I think doing residential or doing new construction was better for me because I learned it before I got into service, so I knew how everything was supposed to work. So I think it's a good way to look at it. And First House also says, and what is the work-life balance like? Man, I have no life. I just work. Whenever I do have a life, I'm not working. So it's kind of tough to look at. It can be done very well. Depending on what kind of job you have, I know some people that literally manage it very well. They work about 40 hours a week every week. They go home to their family each and every day. There's not a problem. They're not overworked. They're not overstressed, anything at all. So it's definitely possible. Side effect says, I really wanted to try some trade work for years now. Unfortunately, need the THC CBD products to control your epilepsy and won't be able to pass a drug test. A lot of companies don't have a drug test. If you'll walk in and tell them why, and depending on where you work at, uh, some people don't have one. Question: in the bathtub, taking a bath and the stopper pulled up so the water can drain. So a little drop of lots of water out of the wall only when you drain the water out of the bathtub. Then you probably have a leak. I don't know what is behind the head of the tub. Meaning if the tub is a long way this way and the stopper's on this end, what's on the wall behind it? Can you cut an access door to get in there and look? You could have just something loose, or you may need to get in there and fix something. Everardo Gracie says, does California have the best plumbers? No, Texas does. California comes in third or fourth, I think. And I'm really joking, but here's why I can't say California has the best plumbers. They're not tested. The owner is. The owner has to look at things. But if you've been plumbing for 2 months, me as the owner, if I want to put you in a truck and make money, I can tell them you're a plumber. That kind of makes it hard for me to say y'all have got the best plumbers. I think you've got a great system, and I kind of wish Texas did something like that, but I can't say y'all got the best because you don't test them. In Texas, everybody's tested. I mean, from a tradesman all the way up. Joshua says, when it comes to work life, remember the words on call. You'll never forget me if you join the trade. Yeah. And, I've met plumbers that are like, look, I don't do on call. I don't work after hours. I don't work weekends. I don't do this, don't do that. I'm like, man, work it when it's there and enjoy it. It gives you more money to enjoy your time off. Rapid Raptor says, how does OT work if you're an apprentice? Also assigned to one journeyman. Am I also assigned to one journeyman or multiple if OT becomes something I want? It depends on where you work. Here's one thing I will tell y'all. If you are an apprentice, if you're an apprentice, just put it in here, put apprentice, because I'm going to take a minute and try to help y'all. If you're an apprentice and you want to make more money, try to be the very best apprentice. And I say this because when you are the best, other people want you. So if you're that apprentice that can go out and do a lot of the job for me, if you're the apprentice that can come in and set 3 toilets, wine stop the main outside, man, I want you on my job, but I'm also going to pay more to get you. And I know some apprentices here in Dallas that work for companies where the plumbers can pick their own apprentices. And everybody always goes after the very best people. And they're like, dude, I'll give you an extra $100 today to work with me. They're either lazy or they see how productive that person is. They understand if he's on my job, I can get more work done. We can make more money. And he's willing to pay for it up front. So, I love it. But it's different at every company. You are more than welcome. Completely agree. Completely agree. Daniel Parsons says Florida does. Come on, Florida. Really? See? Daniel. Ed Aiken, thank you very much, brother. Yes, the Aggies had a great recruiting class. Completely agree. Joshua Madison, I agree, personal. Oh, Parsons. And then Sir Paul says, how does the process work when tunneling under a concrete slab? I've been on a dozen redrains, saw cutting the inside of people's bathrooms, closets, pretty much tearing up the tile and carpet. Okay, so this is good because this is one of my specialties. And I really wish, man, I wish I had my drawing glass in here right now. I might have to have that in here next week. So what it is we literally, once we locate the leak And you're apparently locating them too, because Sir Paul, you know where it is because you're opening up a floor. But if I know where a leak is, we can mark an access outside, dig a hole down, and tunnel over to make the repair. Now, if it's along a line, we may tunnel all along a sewer line. It depends. I know. Joshua, I will get my board in here to where next time I can draw. Uh, and yeah, you got it right here. Sir Paul says, I've seen a couple of videos. Yeah, I've got a few of them out there. Seen a couple of videos you shared showing you have these deep tunnels dug under the slab to replace the drains. Looks awesome. And it is. A lot of people, I've had apprentices that are claustrophobic that refuse to get under there. So what I'm going to tell you is that we literally, we make a hole. Man, I almost want to go get my deal. We make a hole in the ground. And the one in the ground on the outside is probably about 4 feet deep. Because, man, when I stand on them, they're pretty deep. They tunnel all the way under the grade beam. So once you're that deep, you've got a floor going in, and they cut the sides about 3 feet wide. Literally, there's enough room in those tunnels for me and somebody else to get in there and work around each other. And it is just amazing. If y'all have seen my tunneling videos, do me a favor. Just put in here yes or hashtag yes. That way I know. Joshua says draw for us, Roger. Man, I will. I've got stuff to plug in. I mean, this is a cool board, and I'm afraid it may be too light in here. We're going to have to get in here and play with it. But I literally bought, it's like a whiteboard, but it's glass. So literally I can just draw on it. And I've got to figure out how to do it, because if I draw on it this side, it's going to look backwards to y'all. So I may have to set up another camera over here just to see that. OG Snowman says, want to be a plumber. What should my first steps be? Well, if it's, you want to be a plumber, the very first thing you need to do, boy, I hit that twice. Why didn't it do it? Boom, there we go. If you want to be a plumber, the very first thing you need to do is figure out what kind of plumber you want to be. Do you want to be service or new construction? Do you want to be residential or commercial? You've got to figure out what kind of plumber you want to be before you can do anything. And make sure you figure it out before you start. The reason being is you don't want to be one of these people that, man, you get into plumbing and the first time you pull a toilet and poop flies everywhere, you're freaking out because you got a little poop on your hand. Some people will do that. Make sure you know what kind of plumber you want to be first. I've actually got a free mini course over here on my YouTube channel. Go up there and click it. It'll take you over to the free course, and it makes it amazing because once you're there, you know what you want to do. And it asks you a question. Do you want to do commercial or residential, service or new construction? Do you want to be union or non-union? Figure that out. Just do it. I know. Be a plumber. Never half behind. Yes, I know. Yes. I love it. Richie, how we doing? Patty Face says, well, I got a decade of experience working on call for tech support. Part of why I miss the problem solving and teamwork. My dad does HVAC as a career, and I'm always interested. I love that. And it's always a great opportunity too, because tech support, and it's something we all need to start using more. I tell the guys that work for me, look, guys, I've got a cell phone for a reason. Right here, y'all call me. And the big thing about it, the reason that I want them to, is that I'm their tech support. And if you look at it that way, if you're troubleshooting a tankless water heater and you don't know what you're doing, tech support can save you. Well, I want to be that guy for my guys. If they don't understand something 100%, I want them to call me. The problem is they don't want to call me and tell me they don't know something. So sometimes they don't. So, man, I miss tech support. But the good thing is I've been plumbing long enough where I can talk to someone over the phone and tell them what the problem is. So it helps me a lot. Sean says, All I know is your boy's plumbing, where it's warm, got it easy. My drain has to be 4 feet minimum outside. Yeah. Steve Arlow just had to lay his into the lava rocks. And man, Sean, you're right. And it's really interesting because I was talking to a guy the other day about plumbing up in New York. They're burying the main 8 feet deep now, the sewer main. And they're like, look, they just throw the water line down in it. So now it's like that they don't even try to make repairs. It's like, yeah, it's deep. We're just going to replace it. Not a good way to do it. You just create a lot of extra cost for the homeowner, but it is what it is. James Galindo says, Mr. Wakefield, getting ready to take my journeyman test. Any advice? Yeah, number one, if you're getting ready to take it, you should already be ready. But depending on what state you're in, UPC, IPC, get the study guide. And I tell people, get the study guide, look in the back where the answers are, and go through and mark every answer correct. And then start reading that like a book. Question, correct answer. Question, correct answer. And do it over and over and over again. Then one day, about a week or two before the test, take a white piece of paper, cover all the questions, slide it down to where you read the question. And if you don't know that answer 100%, highlight that question in red and go through the entire book like that. Now, when you go back to it for the next 2 weeks, just read the red ones. The other ones you already know. So just go through and read the red ones. Get it to where you know them completely. And I'm telling you, it works. It's amazing. I remember I did my med gas like that. And man, when I walked in, took my med gas, I answered 225 questions in about 20 minutes. I mean, literally, I'd read the question, knew the answer, read the question, knew the answer, read the question, knew the answer. I turned it in. I'm standing up there waiting. And finally, one of the administrators walks by and he walks out and says, "Can I help you?" I said, "Yes, sir. I need to turn my test in." And he looked at me and said, "Well, there's more to it than that first page." I said, "Yeah, I know." And he looked at me and he looked at it, picked up my test and starts flipping through it. He says, "Oh, you didn't study, did you?" I said, "Well, actually, I did." So a little bit later, when they called 10 of us back there to tell us our scores, this was the guy reading a score. And he looked at me and he's like, they'd call out your name. Be like, "Sean Strong, 90. Roger Wakefield." And he'd look at me and look back down and look at me again. He said, "I guess you did study, 98.5. So, man, I'm telling you guys, it works. Such a great way to study. OG Snowman, you're welcome. Richie says, you ever see any of Post 10's video? I guess not. He does a lot of outdoors unblocking drains. No, oh, sorry, I thought I hit the wrong button. No, I'll tell you whose videos that I do watch and I like, though, and that's Drain Addict. So those are pretty cool. YT Astro says, I'll be starting plumbing school the 17th of January. Have no knowledge on it. What's your advice on that? Number one, the YouTube channel you're on right now, I think I've got 700, 800 videos. Watch as much of it as you can, especially when I'm in the field doing things. You'll pick up a lot, and that'll help. Do that. Figure out if you're installing by UPC or IPC. Buy the study guide. Man, learn anything and everything you can. Sir Paul, I don't dig the tunnels. I've actually got dig crews that do it. We don't do our own digging. My plumbers would get so freaking mad at me if I gave them a shovel and told them to dig. I did a video, I think, on my TikTok. God, it may be on one of ours. We do slab leak and slab leak repair videos every Friday. So what I would tell you is look on Fridays, look at the names of them. When it says slab leak repair, you'll see us tunnel. You'll see what we do. But the dig crew that we use has a chipping hammer with a spade bit. So they literally go in there and they dig with a jackhammer, a little mini jackhammer. And I'm telling you, those guys, they don't slow down. It's amazing. Skull says, I live in Florida with zero experience. Seem to be having a hard time getting an apprenticeship using Needed and using Indeed and other apps to get my information out. Any tips? Should just directly call companies. Here's what I tell people. And there was somebody else in here a while ago. I want you to go through my free mini course. It's I don't even remember what it's called now, but figure out what kind of plumber you want to be. Do you want to do commercial or residential? Do you want to do service or new construction? Do you want to be union or non-union? Figure that out first. You don't go out and find the wrong job, especially with zero experience. I think service plumbers are the best. I think they make the most money. Uh, I think they're true heroes because they take care of their customers. But that may not be your deal. You may say, "Look, I'm a new construction guy. It's what I do." Man, good for you. We're not all the same. That's why I talk about the things I talk about. That's why I talk about learning. That's why I talk about positivity, always being positive, always being optimistic, always looking ahead, always recruiting into the trades. If we're not doing these things, it's horrible. Uh, Plumbers do protect the health of the nation. And when you go through these things, leadership, positivity, optimistic, recruiting, when you do all this and you do it on a regular basis, understand we all have a love for the trades. And the trades is one of those jobs. I can be driving down the road with somebody that I've driven with 100 times, and I'll drive past the building and say, "I built that." And they're like, "Yeah, I know, I've heard before." But man, we take pride in what we do. So I just want to tell you that. I mean, it'd be like a doctor passing somebody whose life they saved, or a nurse, somebody's life they saved. And they get by and they look and say, "Hey, you know what? I helped save that person's life." Man, that's the kind of feeling this is. It is such a prideful thing that we do. I love it. Joshua says, Post 10 is a great content. Use tech support a lot for tankless warranties, troubleshooting. Just giving me a hard time. Sorry if I'm being spammy. No, you're good, man. Sir Paul says, yeah, until you get into a 140-degree attic. You know what? I've been there too. Uh, Man, actually been there so hard that I couldn't stop dripping. Miss Tara Nelson, how are you doing? It's good to see you in here. Steve Arloa says, have to dig a job this week, 6 feet deep under a 2 foot thick slab. Man, I don't know what kind of slab y'all are digging or what kind of slab y'all got that has 2 foot thick. God, I think the only place I've ever seen concrete that thick is I did a leak detection job out at Love Field Airport. And they were like, the concrete over here is 36 inches. Like, man, good luck finding anything under that. That's crazy. Steve says, have you been, brother? Hope all is well with you. Absolutely. Sean says, doing all right. Trying to stay warm in this better Nebraska wind. Yeah. Praying for you, brother. Ray Brower says, I'm purchasing a company I've worked for 22 years. Are you raising your rates due to increasing costs in fuel, labor, and materials? Absolutely. And, and that's a good one to mention, Ray, because I'll tell y'all, if you're in a plumbing company right now and they have not raised prices this year, they're losing money. Materials have gone up so much. It is crazy. Uh-huh. Robert Thiessen says, talk more about your trip to Charlotte Pipe. Man, I loved it there. It was a freaking blast. Number one, the people at Charlotte were amazing. But the cool thing too is just to get in there and see how pipe is made. If y'all have not seen it, that video, man, we had a blast making it. I mean, not just fun, it was a blast. To get in there, see them take a white powder resin and turn it into pipe and fittings, man, it was crazy, but loved it. Had so much fun. There's the link to the subreddit. Guys, if y'all aren't in there, this is great because number one, you can post pictures. You can have other plumbers, apprentices, everybody comment on your material or comment on your content. If you see other people's work that maybe it's really bad, maybe really good, you might take videos, you might take pictures, you might take anything. But yeah, post it in there. We'd love to see it. Yes, we do. I get to get in there every chance I get. I love it. Hunter says, hi, simple question. Final burner assembly, main supply tube. Is there supposed to be an inner tube should be an inch shorter than the flare. Doesn't sound right to me, Hunter, or else it's not making sense to me. Somebody look at this, tell me what you think. Hi, simple question. Final burner assembly, main supply tube. Is there supposed to be an inner tube? And if so, should it be an inch shorter than the flare and the end crimped? Man, it's not making sense to me. But then again, it's been a long day for me. So everything's not going to make sense. Sean, Steve, does that make any sense to y'all? Main supply tube. Is there supposed to be an inner tube? And if so, should it be an inch shorter than the flare? I'll tell you what, I'm going to go back to my notes while y'all look at that. So, do you have a love for the trades? If you're in the trades, whether you're a plumber, electrician, any of that, do you love what you do? And I think that's why I get up here every week. So I get out there either in the shop or here in the studio every week and talk about plumbing. I love what I do. I truthfully think I have got one of the greatest jobs on earth. I think that I get to tell people about the trades. I get to recruit. I get to learn. I think I've always got a positive attitude. Uh, and I'm so optimistic about what the future is going to bring for plumbers, for plumbing, not just me, but new people getting into plumbing. I really think, man, I think that this is the greatest career choice I could have ever made because I didn't have to go to college. I was tired of school when I got out. So go back to what they're talking about in Texas right now. And I asked y'all something a while ago, and I think a couple of people said yes. If you knew right now you could walk into high school and get out in 4 years as a tradesman, making about 52 grand a year, would you do it? I mean, literally, great opportunity. And Sean, that's a good idea. Yeah, Hunter, go over to the subreddit, send a picture. Uh, Sean's already put a link in there to it just a while ago. So if you'll post a picture over there, it'll help you. And if you'll, matter of fact, watch this. We'll see if we can do a little magic today. I'll see if Sean, if you'll go post or Hunter, if you'll go post it over there. Oh, I don't know that I'm signed in, so it may not let me. Oh, maybe it will. Yeah, if you'll go in and post it. I can actually pull it up right here and see. I want to see if it'll, just because I hadn't done this yet. Why is it saying, there we go. So see, look at this. It will actually show y'all. Well, it's supposed to be just that screen. I guess it's going to do my whole thing though. That's okay. I can take this and do that. So as you see, I am joined. This is the subreddit right here, Roger Wakefield post. You know, handyman and electricians can do everything plumbers can. Yeah. I thought that was pretty cool. All right, so let me get back out of this. And I'm back. How did that work? If y'all saw that, let me know, just because that's the first time I've done anything like that. Thought it was worth trying. And I can't really get over to YouTube quick enough to see it. There you go. Send us a picture. All right, all right. That was fun. Do something different. And nobody said yes, they can see it yet, though, so maybe not. Oh, I guess so. Thank you. All right. You talking about the thermocouple? Possibly. But then again, that's a nut. Interesting. Thank you. Thank you. And Hunter, I'm in over here, so I'm going to just refresh it just to see. So I don't see a new post over here. At least not right now. No, that asks me if I want to make a new post. And it's kind of nice to be able to go from one system to another. So Hunter, if you do put that in there, please let me know. Because we got about 15 more minutes in here and we're going to get out of here. We're still trying to figure out if we're going to jump in here next week because it's the Monday after Christmas. And you know what? We will. We'll jump in here. Jeff says, hey, sir, would like to know how the heck a handyman gets insurance for doing plumbing work without having a plumbing license. They shouldn't. You know, insurance companies could get really smart. Insurance companies ought to hire me, and I could save them a ton of money. I had a forensic plumber. How many of y'all have ever heard of a forensic plumber? If you have, put hashtag me in there. And the reason I'm saying this is that my dog's going crazy. Let me go. Let me grab him. Sorry about that. My dog was going crazy. My dog does not like delivery people. So, not me. And see, now I forgot what I was talking about. Let me think. I know somebody's going to tell me. Yes, Nightbot says become a tuber turd. All right. I literally have no idea what I was talking about until my dog woke me up. Kyle Hoffman, Mr. Oh, there we go. Josh, thank you so much. Kyle, good to see you in here, brother. And I tell you what, I want to just reach out and say hello to Kyle. Kyle's one of the apprentices that came down here to go to work with me. And it is so good having him because he came in and did some stuff Saturday and we started talking. Man, you want to talk about an apprentice that wants to learn and grow. I think that is amazing. So pretty cool. And Josh, yes, I remember. Thank you. And Robert, very much. I appreciate that. So literally there was this forensic plumber down in Florida. And he called me one day. He says, Roger, I've been watching your videos. He said, you can get rich in Florida. I said, well, I'm doing okay here in Dallas. How come? And he said, here's the deal. He said, if a plumber goes out to a house and tells people they need an entire sewer replacement, the insurance companies down here are just writing them a check. And he said, but when you talk about in your videos doing a test and proving it, he says, how do we do that? And I started telling him about it. And he says that they don't do that here. I said, what do they do? He said, they run a camera down the sewer and they tell them that there's a leak and that the entire sewer line needs to be replaced. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I said, that's crazy. He said, yeah. He said, insurance companies would pay you a fortune just to show people it's not true. And man, I tell you, I love her. I'm going to share a screen again just because I can. Okay, so it won't let me share a section over here. All right, so I'm just going to show you all this real quick, just because this was one of the posts I saw over here. This is one of our swag. This is down in our Teesprings in our merch store. That's right. It never stops. Trust me. And you're right, Sean. I don't see anything in here from Hunter yet. Just checking to see, and I don't. So, guys, if y'all want to, please jump over to the subreddit there. Join. You'll see me in there. You'll see Sean in there. It's actually pretty cool, and we do enjoy what we do. And they're talking to me. All right, so let me hit stop screen share, and I'm back. I love the magic. So anyway, I think it's cool. Sean says still waiting for it to show up. Absolutely. 101 Johnny Boy says, hey, Roger, would love to know what your opinion is for the future of our trade and what direction it's going to go with the new generation. Because honestly, nobody wants to do it. And 101 Johnny Boy, this is good because this is something I've been talking about. Actually, we were talking about it earlier. Number one, if you want to get in the trades and move up, it's a great thing to do because there's more people retiring because of everything going on in the world. There's less people getting into the trades because they've all been told they need to go to college. So what's that create? That creates a shortage due to supply and demand. So I like that. So here's what you run into is you have less plumbers, you have more people that need plumbers. It creates the greatest thing for us, supply and demand. And what I mean by that is, and guys, those of y'all that have been in here for a while have heard me say it, plumbers are going to be making $100 an hour on the check in the next 5 years. And guys, I still think it's true. Before I left the union 6-7 years ago, I was making $50 an hour. If I was in the union right now, I'd be telling them I want 75 an hour. And that would probably be on the low end. It'd probably be closer to 100 because I know with what I do, with my skill sets, with my knowledge, I should be able to make 200,000 a year easy. And I know that because I do. But what I want to tell you is plumbers, just your normal plumber that is the superhero that goes out and takes care of the customers every day is going to be making $100 an hour. And he's going to be worth it. Because if he's a good plumber, if he's doing things right, if he takes care of your customers better than most of the rest of the people you have, you're going to know he's worth it. And you're going to want him. And you're going to say, hey, look, I will pay you whatever it takes to keep you here. Just keep taking care of my customers. And when you do, you're going to be able to set your own price. I know plumbers here that work in the Dallas area that are 100% efficient. And before you start telling me, yeah, they can't do that, it's impossible or whatever, this guy always has a top apprentice with him. He leaves this guy on the job and starts running the next job. He manages his time very well. And last time I talked to him, he said he made about 225 grand that year. When you've got a plumber that's selling $1 million a year and he's making 25%, you're doing good. So here's what's going to happen. The future of our trade is it's going to take all of us. It's going to take every plumber on here to start recruiting. It's going to take every plumber on here to start talking to people about educating themselves to move up to make more money. And the cool thing is when we start doing that, more people are going to start getting back into the trades. And as more people do, it's up to us to train them. It's up to us to make this next generation plumber as passionate about it as we are, as good about it as we want to be. And if we will do stuff like that, it makes all the difference in the world. So didn't mean to get on my soapbox there, but look, man, I think, and I love this by Steve. It says that's when we return to a third world country, but I'd like to believe there'll always be people who want to plumb. And I do too. Absolutely. I'll keep doing it. I'm not going to quit. That's for sure. Agree. Rapid Raptor says Johnny Boy just recently dropped out of college before year one finished. Only went in to please your parents. So happy you left. Wasn't for me. Love working. Blessing to find this channel. Thank you so much. The neat thing is, and Rapid Raptor, I love that. Guys, look, I'm talking. Well, Cottonelle crate, soapbox, it's about the same. Soapbox, Cottonelle crate, they're both for getting clean, right? Here's the big thing. It's up to us what happens to this trade. We've all got to be recruiting. Like I talked about earlier, if you're walking down a grocery store at night and there's a kid in there stocking shelves, you ask them, "Hey, are you going to do this forever?" And they'll laugh at you and say, "No." And then you're like, "Well, what are you going to do?" They're like, I don't know yet." And I always ask them, "What if I told you I could help you get into a trade where you can make 100 grand a year?" All of a sudden, they're interested. All of a sudden, they're very interested. And if plumbers in your area aren't making 100 grand, tell them 60 grand, tell them 75 grand. Be honest with them. Or tell them, "Look, I can show you how to make 100. It's going to take you learning, it's going to take you working, but the opportunity is there if you want it. And if you want it, it can be phenomenal." So that's what's going to happen. Again, I'll step off my Cottonelle crate, but I do appreciate it. Thank you very much. Cottonelle, if you're watching, you need to send me a crate so I can get it up on the shelf. Uh yeah, Rapid Raptor, we're glad you're doing something you love. Amen. Make sure I wrote all that. Got it right. Yeah. See, those of y'all that don't know, yes, I love Cottonelle. If you hadn't seen my videos, you need to check it out. Kev Bone says hello. I have to measure and assemble a copper project with 45s. Very hard. My brain can't comprehend it. So let me teach you a simple trick. And you may already know. And if you do, I am sorry. Man, where did it go? Right here. Here's what I'll tell you, Kev. If you can measure your center to center, multiply by 1.41, that'll tell you your run there, subtract makeup of the fittings. And it's that easy. I hope that helps you out. 101 Johnny Boy says, "I'm a plumber from Montreal. So much red tape with government, body can't find any help. Everyone wants to be a YouTuber." Those dadgum freaking YouTubers. Do you believe that crap? Why? Oh, wait, I resemble that remark. Never mind. Yeah, why would anybody want to get out of plumbing and be a YouTuber? God, that's stupid. Some people just have no common sense whatsoever. Like Harley, my dog over there, sitting looking out the front door like maybe there might be another delivery. Anyway, 101 Johnny Boy, I don't know why anybody would want to be a YouTuber. Joe Drake says, "My brother makes good money stocking shelves, 28 bucks an hour." Look, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. Guys, please don't take me wrong. You can make double that in plumbing in the next 4 or 5 years. I don't think a night stalker, and look, guys, I promise you, Joe Drake, I mean nothing disrespectful. I don't think night stalkers are going to be making $100 an hour in 4 or 5 years. Look, we need night stalkers. We need us all. I see people get in the trades that say, "Look, I don't want to move up to a foreman. I just want to be a plumber." Good. Now we need lots of them. That does not bother me. Everybody does not have to move up. Everybody does not have to have the want to and desire to move up. We need all of us. We need apprentices. We need tradesmen. We need journeymen. We need masters. We need foremen and superintendents and project managers. We need directors of operation. But go back down. We need the apprentice. We need the journeyman. We need the people that want to get in it and learn it and love it. Look, man, I respect Sean Strong. Sean has got his finances set up where he can come in, work a job, go home, and not worry about it. I've got 10 families that depend on me for a paycheck every week. So I'm constantly looking, what can I do to make this better? How do I make them make more money? And to me, that's part of what it's all about. Jason says, "How do I try and convince my boss I want to practice service work? Stuck on the dig crew, service water lines, gas lines, sewer lines." Jason, I'll tell you what, you've got to show him that desire, that motivation. You be the best ditch digger, the best person out in the field that you can be. They'll find a way to promote you and give you more responsibility. Is it easier to build a second bath or access from a primary bath? Yeah, if you've got one there where you've got a full size line, absolutely. Kev Bone says, thank you. In trade school at the moment. Good for you. Glenn Tucker, our back-to-back bathroom. Yes. Yeah, if you've already got one bathroom, it's either to put another one in. Kev says 28. Dang, I make 14 being a cashier. And guys, look, here in the Dallas area, I've been starting plumbers apprentices out at 15 with no experience. With a little bit of experience, 1750. With quite a bit of experience, $20. So you can do good. Josh Sachs says, hey, Roger, been watching you for a year right now, right before I became a plumber in New York City. My biggest struggle in plumbing is boilers. Can you give me some advice on how to get better at installing? Man, with boilers, with heat exchangers, thing like that, it's all about the layout. You've got to know your dimensions on everything. Man, I used to love those. I've set some large boilers, some large chillers, things like that, heat exchangers. You've got to get good at laying it out. Once you lay it out, pop dimensions on the floor, pop lines on the floor, make it all make sense. Regina Boyle says, what needs to be done if I want to put a tub where a sink was? Regina, you're probably going to have to open up the floor, find out where that line turns up. You're going to need to install a P-trap underground. That way you can hook the tub up. So that's your first step. Pull your dimensions out, lay your floor out in the right center where your drain goes. Nail it. Hassan Kazemi says, I'm a plumber from Iran. Just got my license as a plumber. Want to get into Canada. What do I need to know to land a job in North America? In North America, you just need to be able to prove that you have history plumbing, documentation from employers, anything like that, a license. Texas is really good about offering people temporary licenses right now because we're trying to get more people in. That's why we changed the laws to make it where you can go to high school and get your own plumbing license now. Archelon says, must be stocking the bookshelves, some rich guy. Because every stocking job, my friends and I, Aaron boys, bare minimum wage, no benefits, no overtime premium, nothing. All right, guys, I am fixing to jump out of here. I've actually gone just a little bit over. Jerry, good to see you in here. Joe T, good to see you. Glenn Turner, you are welcome. Josh Sachs, you are welcome. Man, I actually got through all the comments too. I love that. Guys, number one, thank you for being here. I love what I do. I love talking about the trades. I love recruiting into the trades. Talking about learning, positivity, being optimistic. Those are mental mindsets that we all need to be working on. Recruiting, bringing people into the trades, and understanding that plumbers really do protect the health of the nation. And just falling in love with the trades. We talk trash in here about electricians and HVAC techs and everybody else. But at the end of the day, man, I love anybody in the trades. I think it's neat that they get in, that they do what they do, that they enjoy it. I love seeing any other trade that I think takes as much pride in his work as I do. And it's a big deal. I want to say a special thank you to Steve Arloa, to Mr. Sean Strong. Great seeing both of y'all in here as always. You are more than welcome. Thank y'all very much. So anyway, guys, if I don't see y'all before Christmas, which I won't unless you jump in my LinkedIn lives tomorrow or Thursday, I want to tell you all to have a very Merry Christmas. Or whatever holiday season is your reason, celebrate it and be happy. Nothing disrespectful. I hope that y'all get everything you need. I hope that you give everything you can. This is the time of year to let people know how much you care about them, how much you love them, and what you really want to do. So I want to tell each one of y'all, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate everything you do. And I'll be saying all this again next Monday because that'll be the last Monday before the end of the year. So guys, thank you for being here. I really do appreciate it. Love y'all. Merry Christmas. I'm Roger Wakefield, Lead AP, the expert plumber. I'll see you in the next video if you don't get flushed.